GC here, man.
It's Nick, and we got a special guest, man, it's long overdue. But the reason why it's long overdue is because I want to say that almost a year from now is when we had that conversation. After we played our last game last year, and we all sat in the parking lot, and we was all talking about the stuff that we wanted to do, and you know what I'm saying, all the stuff we wanted to start up. That's the man we were sitting here talking to, but without further ado, we introduce Torres.
Hey, thanks for having me. Appreciate it. And yeah, we were talking about you got your building after that.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, that was
kicked off a little bit more, I think, after that. So
Absolutely.
Yeah, that was a very productive conversation.
Absolutely. It sure
You know what I'm
was.
saying? Like you said, we had just finished a long football practice, and we stayed. Like we get out of practice at 8. We was out there till about 9.
Till 10.
Till
No,
about
10.
10.
Was
Yeah.
it a practice or was it the last? I thought it was the last.
No, I think it was
No, it was practice. It was
Practice.
practice.
So
Okay.
we got out at 8. Yeah, you said we was out there at like 10 o'clock,
Yeah,
man.
it's work.
Just chopping it up. And you know, like they say, man, iron sharpens iron.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So yeah, like you said, it was long overdue, man. And it's somebody that's we consider family.
Yeah.
To the bringing the business family as well as, you know what I'm saying, just family to us.
absolutely appreciate
You
it.
know what I'm saying? Period.
Yeah.
Well, that's what it is, right? It's I think eventually you have to surround yourself with people of like-mindedness to advance. You know, like if you don't fit in my circle, I ain't got time for you anymore. And that's the way it's been for a long time for me. You know what I'm saying? And out here the last 5, 6 years, 7 years, I found dudes that I can roll with and rock with, and we're like-minded. You know what I mean? And that's just the way it works. Like if you ain't on this side is right for the most part, or moving forward, I don't have time for you. So
Yeah, I understand that. I mean, and I think like from that conversation that we had, we both, you know, I know you were going, you always been strong-minded and like this is what I'm gonna do. And I think me and him needed that. You know what I'm saying? That night we needed that to kind of push us forward to be like, you know what? Because I mean, I'll be honest with you, I never thought about doing no podcast.
Yeah.
I'm not no guy who want to sit here and talk to people and do it. I mean, I very seldom talk in general. But
and it's a surprise. People like, they got a podcast with
Yeah.
quiet as it.
yeah, and that's what
You
I'm
can get
saying.
you going for an hour, man. Yeah.
So I mean, but it was kind of thing, but me and you talked plenty of times though, and I want to say you always try to put foot to ass to me a couple times on just like jump starting stuff and doing certain things. And I guess, you know, we're doing it with him, it kind of pushed me to say like, I could do this. You know what I'm saying? Along with the conversation that me and you had and the conversation that, you know, we all had together, it kind of pushed me to say, you know what, this is something I can do. You know what I'm saying? So for that, you know, I appreciate that from you. But like I said, you've always been like that for me. You know what I'm saying? You've always been there for me. But man, let's get into.
But before you go, like kind of piggyback on what you're saying, you know how they say you can't share your dreams or your whatever with everybody. You know what I'm saying? You ain't supposed to. First of all, you know you got dream killers. Then you got people that don't understand your dream or your vision. So that conversation, that was just, I mean, it just happened at the right time. I guess it was just meant to be. You know what I'm saying? That particular group of us was supposed to stay out. You know what I'm saying? Wasn't no distractions, wasn't no whatever. So that was a perfect conversation that we had, and it was a much needed conversation. So.
Well, even from my perspective, having that conversation, it just further cemented what I was doing. Like I just got to go all over.
Right.
You know what I mean? I've been fortunate to have some people in my life that I've seen them go balls to the wall, and it is what it is. Like we fail, but I got to try. You know what I mean? And for a long time, I was scared to kind of just jump out. I was making a good living.
Right.
You know what I mean? Money's coming in nicely, side jobs, I'm good. It's all good. It's scary to put yourself out there.
I know.
Knowing that if this shit goes bad, it's gonna go bad. You know what I mean?
Right.
So, and actually, it's crazy. Steve Harvey's, I don't know if you guys see Steve Harvey's jump speech.
No, I didn't see that, but I seen him on what's the name of the
Urban Leisure.
I heard
Yeah.
it. I heard it.
So look at his jump YouTube video. He talks about how you gotta jump. Like the people who jump get rewarded. The people who kind of just, I'm cool where I'm at, don't. You know what I mean? And for the longest, that just played. Then I seen a couple other people jump, and it worked out. You know, I'm 40, fuck it, I'm gonna jump.
Right.
That's kind of what it is. Everything else be damned, you know.
Yeah.
And it's a struggle. It's a struggle to jump, man. It's you know, family time. It takes away from a lot of things. Like I'm here all the time. You know what I mean? So especially with newborn. You know what I mean?
Right.
So shout out to Juanita for holding it down. Appreciate you. Love you.
Absolutely.
But you know one thing I always liked about your family when it comes to the sports atmosphere that we always, everybody in them. Like everybody, you got a whole sports family. So it's like from you to the wife to the kids to the everybody just, you know what I'm saying, when Sunday football day at the park, everybody there. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, it's not like the lady is at home and like, you know what I'm saying? Like, she out there and that shit.
Well, that made things easier.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Because when I first started coaching and we were, I was up 3 o'clock in the morning watching videos. You know how it was when you first started. You're trying to figure out what's going on, sending people to other places to go get you filmed and everything else. And you're all in. And it does take a lot of time. So I was fortunate where she kind of, because we were all in it anyways, took on a role. So it kind of just, the time was together, so it really didn't seem like I was always gone.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely. So going back to, well, I'm not going back, but I guess we are going to go back. Because we started off, when you started off, as strictly football.
Yeah.
What year was that? Man,
So Michael that would have been your super year.
Okay.
So you guys were supers for 2 years, right?
Right.
Yeah, so your first super year is when Michael's, because Michael's a PE. No, so then the year before you.
Okay.
So it
We
probably
came
goes
in
6.
07.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
Michael was a super for 1 year.
Okay.
Damn, y'all been out there that long?
Yeah.
07. Yeah, well, I've been on this 07.
So 06, 07, something like that.
Yeah. So were you coaching then?
No, not the super year.
Okay.
Not the first year. The second year, first year of Pee Wee, I started coaching because Coach T would help. Like sometimes there was just, you would show up and no one would be there. You know what I mean? And so me and another dad was like, let's go. I paid, let's go.
Right.
You gotta get out here and start doing something, you know what I mean?
Right.
And Coach T thanked me and brought me on at staff. You know what I mean? It's extended.
So from coaching football, 'cause I know you went on up the ranks because we moved up with you, you know, eventually. Man, I want to talk about just the ups and downs of that, you know, from being a youth coach for football, coaching your son, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that was rough for a while. So I think coaching Mike, so I didn't coach David because David was older already and he went straight to Dan and to Fitz and those guys.
Mm-hmm.
So, but coaching Mike was a challenge, man. That was a challenge. And it got bad. It got bad for like 2 years. It got bad to where we disliked each other. I mean, like I disliked him. He disliked me. I loved him, but I disliked him. You know what I mean?
What years was that?
And that was Pee Wee year. Okay. Pee Wee year. So that would have been probably no. We didn't start. We didn't start in 07. I didn't move to Evergreen Park until 2010.
Right, that's what I'm saying, man. That was.
Yeah, we're 2023 right now, so it would have been 2011. 2011.
You're right.
So then you guys probably started in 2012.
I'm sorry, 2012, 2013, something like that.
Yeah, I just thought about that. That's like 20 something years.
You know what?
That's why I say, like, damn, y'all been that long.
07, my son was born in 06. I'm tripping, man. I'm thinking about my daughter.
So I'm like, damn, y'all been there.
Yeah, I'm thinking about my daughter.
I just thought about it, wait a minute.
Yeah.
Oh, Mike wasn't born yet.
Right. So 11 or
So 2011 is when we started.
Right.
Yeah.
So I started like 2012,
So you
2013.
guys like 2012. So mine would have been that 2013 season, 2014 season is probably where it got real bad. Because I didn't know how to turn coach off.
At home?
At home. Yeah. So he was getting it all the time. You know what I mean? And it was just not a good thing.
Right.
And so finally one time I was like, I'm not coaching no more. I think I told y'all that, like, if y'all didn't go talk to Coach T, I think Sean was on the staff at that time.
Yeah.
I was like, go talk to Coach Sean. I told T, like, I'm not talking to you. When it's on the football field, I'm not talking to you. And much more when I started with that year that we played defense for you guys.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It was like, go handle that over there. I'm not gonna talk to him too much.
Right.
And that started repairing me. We had better understanding. I learned that I could cut it off as much as I could.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So now Bella gets the best version of Mike's trial and tribulations. You know what I mean?
Right.
But it's rough. It's a real rough thing to do, especially when you're competitive, right?
Right.
And then the expectations that you place on him. You know what I mean? I wasn't living through him, but I saw what he could be.
Right.
You know what I mean? And then obviously the team those two teams at the particular time weren't that good. So like, I need you to carry this. I need you to do this. And it was just unfair all the way around. You know what I mean? And that's like I said, looking back now. Do you remember we had a kid on the team? I want to say his last name was Leaf or Leak. And he was a running back and he wouldn't block. Could run the ball like nobody's business. But there was a moment where I was like, should have never did it. I was like, you don't want to block, get off my field, you're not running the ball no more. Later on, I talked to the mom, and the following season, I apologized actually, later on. And I started reading like the proactive coaching stuff, and I'm going down this checklist like, damn. And it's just bang, bang, bang. And I did all of this, you know what I mean? So I actually called them later on and apologized. You know what I mean? I think that helped me start turning. Because I always want to do whatever I do, like I want to learn to get better at it. You know what I mean? Like I want to be legit at it. And I think that was kind of a turning point for me, period. Just having treated a 10-year-old like that. You know what I mean? Probably the way I was treated when I was 10-year-old playing sports, right? That's what we were all doing. And it just wasn't right. You know what I mean? And that kind of changed my attitude on the sports type of deal.
Right.
Now I know, like, so I came on, had to be 16 or 17.
Yeah.
What year did we win the Super Bowl? 17?
I want to say 18.
No, it wasn't 18.
So it was 17.
17.
17 and 18, we went back with Jed and those guys, right?
Yeah.
So 17 was when okay, we won in 17, right?
No,
so I started in 16.
Yeah.
So I started in 16. And we're going to get an interview with Mike, who he's talking about his son, but one thing that stood out to me my very first day, because Nick brought me on, you know, and told me, man, come out here, man, you know, come out here and coach with us or whatever. And, you know, I got out there, you know, and remember he was an older lighter.
Yeah, correct.
Remember he was
Play
an
on
older
the
lighter
line,
at the time, so he had to play the O-line.
Yeah, correct.
I mean, he played defense.
Yes.
But he couldn't play none of the skill positions.
Yeah, he'll be in the line.
And I think I told you that the first day, like at the time I didn't even realize that was your son. And I was like, man, he a fucking ball player. It was just his attitude. So I guess that was a year or two after what you talking about.
Yeah, correct.
You know what I'm saying?
It was 2 years after, yeah.
So that's why it's like it's kind of funny to hear you say that, because I didn't see that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying to him, man. He was like I say, he had to play the offensive line, and he didn't pout about it. He was tough playing. He was smart. He was, you know what I'm saying? And that shit stood out the very first day that I came there. Like, man, this little motherfucker a ball player, man.
I mean, but he, you know what, from seeing him as being younger and coming up, it was a transition for him.
Sure.
You know what I'm saying? Because he had one of those, when he first started playing, he had one of those cocky, like, you know what I'm saying, I'm supposed to do this. And then he matured as he got older. You know what I'm saying? His maturity was like, I'm gonna do whatever I can and give my, you know what I'm saying, give everything I got to wherever I play.
I think that helped, that older lighter here helped him do that. You know what I mean? Because he had nothing else to do. So start blocking. You know what I'm saying? And then
he blocked his ass off, and I think he was at a linebacker.
No, he was not. He was either DN or nose tackle. You know, nose tackle. He had to keep his hand in the dirt.
Right, okay. Yeah, and he balled out, you know what I'm saying, at them positions. So.
Yeah, so from that, and then, you know what I'm saying, the championship undefeated season that we had, I think, you know what, I want to ask you this. Because you brought something up about always wanting to kind of dig into what you get into as far as like researching and stuff like that. I think, like talking to other coaches, that was kind of a knock on you. You know what I'm saying? Like, man, he always looking up plays, stuff like that. And I'm looking like, I don't understand what's the problem with that. But it was like,
also a fault of mine too, right?
Yeah, but but you know what? I always looked at it like, why aren't we always trying to get better?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? People get knocked because they feel like you supposed to already know this.
Yeah.
But what if I don't know it?
Yeah, correct.
So what's wrong with me?
Like we're all parents. You know, even though you played, you never put a scheme together, a practice together. That was all done for you going to practice.
Exactly.
Like you were always told what to do, how you had to do it. I didn't know any of that. You know what I mean? So it's that's just me in particular. Like it's one time in, I'm in. You know what I mean? And it was like, why can't I do this? And what people don't know is like the dynamic warm-ups. People were like, oh, dynamic warm-ups instead of the static stretching, right? Instead of getting in a circle and doing your things. Like that was the thing. I was like, dude, I went to St. Lawrence. I see this is what they're doing. Why can't we do this here? You know what I'm saying? And the spread was just, why not? Why not?
Right.
I looked at defenses and I was like, we can throw that ball, they can't stop it.
Right.
You know what I mean? And two, like I said, while it was, I think, one of my, and it still probably is one of my, going all in and trying to be on the forefront of new stuff, I also probably learned be a little bit more patient with some of the things that I already done. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Like, just run the ball. Like, you
Right.
don't have to throw the ball right here, just run the ball.
Right.
You know what I mean? So, yeah, and that's, and I know that was not a little bit on, like, he wants to do it his own way. It's like, nah, I just want to do it a different way.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And I was always up for debate. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think as, especially when I became the head coach, I think I want to say I kind of took everyone's opinion. You know what I mean? Whether I followed through with it or not, but at least I listened. I would say that.
I'm gonna be real. I'm gonna be real now. Hey, just bring the business and be real. I had some beef with Dave, man.
I know.
So that first year when he took over head coach, you know, I'm used to calling offensive plays.
So
and shit.
that was
You know what
that
I'm
was that was my second year because the first year Romack
Right.
was the head
Correct.
coach.
Right.
So my first year Romack was the head
Right.
coach. So that had to be my second year.
That was your
that you speak. Okay.
So me and Dave, we have a conversation or whatever, like, man, whatever, keep it the same, keep everything good, you know what I'm saying? But I was pissed, but I've always respected you because you've always been frank about everything. Like you don't beat around the bush, you know what I'm saying? But I admit, I was like, he gave me a call, I'm at work, he was like, yeah, nigga, I'm calling plays, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? I was like, man, what you told me? I don't call the play, you know what I'm saying? So,
Call for review.
Right, you know what I'm saying? So I was like, but you know what? Even though at that particular time I was pissed, as the year went on, I was grateful for not calling plays. Because I didn't realize how much stress that shit was causing me.
Oh, dude.
You know what I'm saying? So as you start to call the plays, and I would just like see little things and say, you know, just put a little bug in your ear about certain things I saw, I was like, I'm glad I ain't calling these motherfucking plays. But at then, I was like, man, fuck Dave, man, this motherfucker on some bullshit. You know what I'm saying?
Well, it was just because I had to, after knowing what we were going to have, and seeing what I had that vision.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, we're going to spread this out, and we're just going to, it's going to be full throttle, no huddle, stop us.
And then you know what? Everything works out the way that it's supposed to work out. If you got, like we started off talking about like-minded people, and you got people that have the same goal, and because look how our coaching team for these years just gelled.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like us three, Tony, you know what I'm saying? When we had Vic before he, you know, went into the DOF position or whatever.
Rosales about that right
Rosales, you know what I'm saying? And it's like we have been, for the people that don't know, like we've been in the trenches of this coaching thing, man.
Yeah.
Like we done got our ass kicked. We done kicked plenty of ass.
Yeah.
We tough games, you know what I'm saying? Like we've been pissed. We've been ready to fight the other team, you know what I'm saying? We
come down every time.
We done been through it all. We done been through, you know what I'm saying? Like another thing, like he said about Dave, I can speak for this myself. Sometimes I come, hey, man, look over there at that rule. He always take it into consideration. You know what I'm saying? Okay, you see that rule? You know what I'm saying? He gonna try it. or you know, you can have a coaching staff, but if you don't empower your staff,
To help you.
what's you know what I'm saying? What's the use of your staff?
And I think
That's why we gelled, because we were
Yeah.
able to kind of have our disagreements.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like me and Tony, we're gonna fight
Right.
all game. You know what I mean? But it's just football, we're having our disagreements, but it's all for the collective.
Right.
And I don't think we took it personal to that extent where we couldn't just move on. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And I think like what helped me was that though, because even though you took it that over, it was always that, okay, Nick, what you see?
Yeah, we were playing. Yeah,
You know what I'm
right.
saying? So-
Let me know what you see, so we can. Yeah.
So I mean, it even though like the initial conversation was like, I can't believe this shit, man. You know what I'm saying? But as the season went on, and I ain't gonna say as the season went on, shit, the first game.
And,
you know what I'm saying? It was like,
and in practice, like
Yeah.
you had a lot of
yeah.
you know what I'm saying? Like you had a lot of input, you had a lot of shit in practice, so and that's where the real preparation comes.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? So it's like you putting a lot of shit in practice, and then when you get in the game, like they say, you practice hard, the game easy.
Correct.
Same way with coaching.
Mhm.
You coach hard in practice, everything like that. It's a little easier when the game starts.
Yeah, absolutely. So, how did you feel about the undefeated season? I mean, I know I felt about it because my son was on the team and everything like that, but how did you feel about it being the head coach of something like that?
So it was awesome, but unsatisfying.
I want to hear the unsatisfying
It
part.
just wasn't not my fun. It wasn't the best season for me because it was easy. Like seriously, like if I would take the I think what were we 7-3? That was a fun season.
Which
With Jed and those guys.
Is
When
that
we lost
when we went to the Super Bowl?
lost to Torres.
Yeah.
Like that was a crushing one.
Yeah, it was a crush.
Still haven't watched that tape.
Me neither.
Like, I cry every time I want to talk about it. Like y'all crazy. I'm emotional when it comes to sports.
But the
And,
undefeated season though,
It was a great season, but it was easy.
but no,
I felt.
we did have to coach some though.
No, I mean like we implemented everything, right? We gave them the tools to do what they needed to do, but it was easy.
What about
Like, I like the
we had to
grind
make
of a season
what
where
about
it's-
we had to make Romac Belcroft? That's the same season, right?
Yeah.
When we won.
Yeah,
remember
yeah, against Work.
Right.
Against Work, yeah.
And then what's the running back? Nelson.
Mhm.
Man, like that was a tight game when he had to tote that rock like that, man. Remember that
Championship?
Yeah,
It's
championship.
because Nick gets
That's what I'm saying though, but I'm saying though.
Through that bunch, baby.
Because think about it. Remember we ended up having to go to the Wildcat.
No, yeah. And we remember we were in the end zone. They're like, "Don't run it, Tony. Don't run it, Dave. Don't run it, Dave. Don't run that. Don't run that." I was like, "You got it. You got it." And I told him too. I was like, "You got this. It's when to go home now, baby. Let's go." You know what I'm saying? So there were great moments, and it was a more special moment for me because obviously then Mike didn't win.
Right.
So we had to go 2 into 1 year. But from I just wasn't satisfied.
But it kind of, like if you look at sports, it kind of solidified your resume.
Absolutely,
Oh,
absolutely.
As a head coach, so you gotta come on.
Yeah, so there was some of that, right? Like, yeah, I am good at what I do, and we just came out like no one was prepared for the spread.
Right.
When we came at them, we were showing up, and they were like, "What the fuck?"
Mhm.
You know what I mean? So from that standpoint, I'm not trying to toot my horn or anything like that, but I think I made a lot of coaches in the metro better, because then they had to go back to the lab and how do we defend this? You just can't rush us now.
Right.
You just can't go all out blitz on us right now because I got 5 receivers streaking down the field and the quarterback can go. You know what I'm saying?
Did y'all know we was going undefeated?
No.
Nah.
My one regret, we didn't play Harvey close. We should have played them,
Yeah, we should.
and we would have beat them too.
We should have played.
I firmly believe we would have beat them.
Yeah, we should have played. Cause that's the year. Is that the year that Nick played on that team?
No, that was the next year
Okay. Yeah, I do.
because he traveled with them. I think
Yeah,
that was.
he
Yeah.
traveled with him a couple.
You know, it might have been that. It might have been that off season. You guys might have went to Tennessee or something with them.
Yeah, I forget where we went. We traveled with him a couple places.
But yeah, I regret that.
But then again, did y'all know we was going undefeated?
I think I want to say by week 2 or 3, I had a pretty good feeling that we were going to run into Blue Island. Like for me, it was Blue Island and Work.
Yeah.
Just because that offense is and I hate to say it like this, but you don't need a lot of talent to win with that offense.
Right.
You know, because this is the grind. Like they're not making humongous plays on you. It's 4 yards, 4 yards, 4 yards, 4 yards, 4. You know what I mean? So they're taking a whole quarter to score 1 touchdown. You know what I mean? They had the ball for 15 minutes, and then we go down, pop, we got it. You know what I mean? And so they're just their scheme and their discipline was work. Their scheme and discipline was like that was some good ass coaching. You know what I'm saying?
So you know what? You know I'm on Facebook, so you know your memories come up.
Yeah.
So on my memories during that season, I say, man, like every week, I mean, I can show it. Come up, man, we won, 40-something of this, ooh. And week 2, I made a post. I say, hey y'all, I think we got a special group. You know what I'm saying? Every week I posted, man, we got another one, and you know, people cheer, you know, back that people go, man, coach, what y'all do this week? You know what I'm saying? And once we won, the post was like, I told y'all we had a special group. So it was like, I saw it early, like,
oh yeah,
we got something.
I mean, I think we had a special group, but I'm with Dave. Did I know we were going undefeated? Nah. He probably a little bit earlier than me. I probably like halfway through the season. I was like, I think we.
I think we played Hessville early, which has usually Hessville. Was it Hessville? I think Hessville has usually been a thorn in our side, and we freaking smoked them. I mean, we were out there in Hessville. They had nothing for us. After that, I think that was game 3 or 4. After that game, I was like,
I think you're right.
all right, release.
Yeah.
Lining Nelson up 10 yards in the backfield coming downhill. That was a good one.
Yeah.
But you know, football's given a lot to my family. You know what I'm saying? David, my older brother, like that dude was just. I think that's where Mike gets a lot of it from, right? Like David's always been just like a constant professional. Coaches go out there, does his job, good, smart, does his thing. So I think Mike emulated that a lot. And he's just a better athlete. You know what I mean? And I think so. He had a kind of an example because he grew up in it. Right. So he had this always looking at, and then you always see, I want to be better than my brother. Right. You know what I'm saying? And much like now with Bella. Bella looks at Mike at the catching spot. Like, I want to be better catcher than Mike. You know what I'm saying? So that's kind of where they're at with that. So sports and the stallions have been good to my family. You know what I'm saying? I can't complain. I'm happy. Where it's at.
So now you're transitioning now. Not only transitioning out of football, but in a facility that where we're at right now. So what made you want to do this? Like what, you know?
COVID.
Okay.
So during COVID, when everything got canceled, Mike had put in work. Like, he had his growth spurt that season, gained like 15 to 20 pounds. Like, that dude was a beast. You know what I'm saying? Ready to go, and then nothing.
Right.
So we kind of turned the garage into a gym. Okay. And at that point in time, my partner, Bella, was with, we were playing at the Orland Park Sparks, travel softball team. My guy, Matt, was coaching at EPGSL. Obviously, everything was shut down, no communication. Okay. We're watching this team called Full Tilt at a place called The Factory in Highland, Indiana. Okay. And they're just putting out video content. And this week, girls were doing these exercises. And they're just constantly involved with the girls. Or the baseball players, because they got baseball too. And they were looking for a couple of players, you know, on the softball side of things. So we took the drive out there. I had Mike and David with me. And we walked into the factory. They're like, so, I think it's a 30,000 square foot facility. And you walk in there, they have a turf field, they got a weight room, they got like a mini infield with batting cages, and it's like, there you go. You know what I'm saying? Like immediately the boys were like, they wanted to go work out there. You know what I'm saying? Right. And after a year of kind of going out there and being a winter out there, just the workouts, we kind of seen the progression from a team that wasn't really good. I mean, we got a buzz kick sophomore year. I jumped a little bit. So we joined the 12U team, our girls are 10. Okay. They're going to practices and working out 3 times a week, sand room, core class, speed and agility. And you just see them taking leaps and bounds over 3 months. You know what I mean? So then we take over the 12U team because that group is moving up. Bella and Lily are still the younger girls on the squad, but we got a decent squad that works hard. I want to say we were probably about 30 games under 500 in the fall. Post winter workouts and winter field and everything else, we came in 5th in Evansville in Nationals, and we were probably about 20 games above 500. So it was like a complete 180 with the workout. And that's when kind of, Kegs became available. Matt talked to me about it. You know what I mean? He said, hey, why don't we do this? It's available. What do you think about it? We'll do something small for our girls that we're not driving to Indiana all the time. And that's how Grinderz was born. We started shooting names. And cousin Robbie, right, Brian Harbour, whatever, let's call it Grinderz. You know what I'm saying? Let's call it Grinderz.
Right.
That grinding sticks with me. You know what I'm saying? And that's how it came about, man. And we started doing very well there. And this opportunity kind of popped up for us to expand. And while it was scary, that was the jump. You know what I mean? And Matt's been, my partner, Matt's been a kind of a great person to be around because that's his mentality. You know what I'm saying? Like, fuck it, let's go.
Right.
And it is what it is after that, you know what I'm saying? But it's we'll try it, it's not gonna fail. Like, we just can't let it fail.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So we gotta do what we gotta do to make sure it succeeds. And slowly but surely, that's also changed. Being around guys like him, I have a couple people in my building that are highly successful, and just their mentality is, I don't fail. I have losses, right? But I never fail. And they just kind of turn it around all the time. All right, I lost. What I do wrong, let's get back at it. So there's never a time where they're like defeated. You know what I'm saying? And I've noticed myself kind of developing that mentality. That conversation comes from that development. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah. And not to mention, there's no place like this for girls in the area. Now, we're open to all sports, but it's cool getting a place for young ladies because I have a daughter who does it. And seeing how it's helped her and how confident she is in herself.
Right.
Now they still have their young ladies and their teenagers and stuff like that, but they can hold their own.
But your transition from football to softball was just like effortless. Like, was that just because of, I know what that means. What I'm gonna say is kind of stupid because obviously it's because of the love you have for your kids and for your daughter. Well, it was just like seamless to be like, okay, my son, they take care of. Now it's time for me to spend more time.
It's coaching. If you're a good coach, you could probably coach anything. You know what I'm saying? It's just like, it was kind of the same thing. I didn't know much about it. I played baseball, I coached baseball here and there, but didn't know anything about softball. So started watching YouTube videos, bought programs, and finding people in the area that I kind of latched onto. You know what I mean? They were just, that's what I wanted to do. Much like I latched on to Coach Blackman at St. Lawrence and just kind of showing up at every camp he had and everything else. I wasn't talking to him, I was just watching what they did. You know what I mean? I found guys that I was like, that's what I like. It's not the old stuff, right? It's they throw it different. You know what I'm saying? We're not pitching like this.
Right.
So it was just things that were new that I enjoyed, and that's what I'm gonna bring. And that's kind of where it started, you know what I'm saying? And then I got the ISSA certified, got cutting certified, which was crazy, a hitting certification.
So you got a hit?
Huh?
You got a hit?
No, I know how to hit. Everything I teach, I've done myself, so I can teach it properly.
Okay.
But it's a certification that you get for hitting. And some of these certifications, you go on there, you pay $100, you get your certification.
Mm-hmm.
Going through the cutting thing, I wish I would have done the lab because it was legit. It was almost like I was back in a science lab and talking about biomechanics and biomechanics and all this other stuff. So it took me, I called for a couple extensions on it. Like, hey, I'm not gonna, because it's like 6 months and you have the test.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, yeah, because I'm busy as well. I got a job, football was going on. So, how many times? So it probably took me about a year to actually get it, but it opened up my mind to everything else. You know what I'm saying? Now I can look at things in a different light and adjust. But I think as long as in anything you do, as long as you're willing to educate yourself and admit that you don't know everything, you kind of move in and out of different areas.
Right.
Not kind of easy.
Like you said though, man, if you know sports and you know how to coach, you adjust anything.
Yeah.
I laugh at my brother Trap.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he a football coach. You know, he played football and everything like that. He coached football. Now he's coaching badminton. I'm like, man, you don't know shit about badminton, but he winning like he
By the program, by the books, you start learning.
And he's
Yeah.
badminton coach. I'm like,
Really?
and
Where'd that come from?
shit, and he had at one of the high school, one of the TFs, he coached badminton.
All right.
Just, you know what I'm saying? Like you say, he watched he studied under the coach who was there, and learned, went and read YouTube, did all that stuff and learned badminton. So now you're a badminton coach, man. So, but like you say though, if you know anything about sports, you know what I'm saying, you're gonna be able to figure something out, man. Because badminton is similar to tennis.
Correct.
You know, we know tennis players, but
Correct, yeah.
I damn near know a little something about tennis. You know what I'm
Tennis,
saying?
ping pong, kind of
Right.
combined in one, yeah.
Right.
And volleyball right there,
Yeah.
yeah. And it's I think if you enjoy teaching, and that's what it is, right? If you enjoy teaching kids and getting the results out of those kids, you can kind of adjust easily. You know what I'm saying? I had a girl hit her first home run Sunday, 10-year-old Stanley. And in a video you hear, that was awesome, that's great. That touches my heart. You know what I'm saying? Like, her joy brings me joy.
Give me the name. Give me what's the name.
That's shout out to and I forgot her name right quick. To Maya Castro on her first home run, 10 new Stallions.
Alright.
And she was putting in the work. We were here on Tuesday putting in the work, and she works. Like whatever you tell her, she comes in and she's trying, she's working. So it's a year now, I think she's been with me. And it was nice to get her first home run, and a legit over the fence home run.
So is Maya, is that the, because I think I follow her. Is she the one who her mom took her to see the professional softball player? Is that her?
No, that's Natalia.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's who I follow.
Yeah, so Natalia's been with me for a while, but we have a bunch of parents right now in the organization on the softball side of things that are like all in with their kids. Like our tennis team is, like they're good. It's a bunch of good girls. Like Natalia can pitch, Sue, she can hit. But they all, and we have to remember though that they're 10.
Right.
You know what I mean? Whereas 10 years ago, I'm like, oh, get out of here. Like, they're 10. They're going to make mistakes.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? They're going to do their thing. But for 10 years old, they're committed. They come in and put to work. They're at classes all the time. You know, so they do the extras outside of practice.
Okay.
And that's what I think a bunch of parents don't realize is that practice is just practice. You get better by what you do outside of practice.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So if you're not putting another 2 to 3 days into whatever sport you're doing, you're probably not getting that good at that sport. Now, obviously, you have your 5 or 10% of kids that are just monster athletes.
Right.
That are just wake up and they're good. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But that'll only last so long as well. So eventually, you're going to run into kids that are as good as you and then put in that work. So putting in the work is kind of where it's at.
Now y'all, I guess this is a question for both of y'all, man. Y'all both have coached your kids.
Mm-hmm.
My kids are just getting started in sport. Do you recommend that, like my son for football, do you recommend I coach him in football or let him be coached by somebody else or what do you, because one thing I'm gonna tell you, both of y'all, Vic, with his son, when his son was out there with us, and even though we didn't have, I think he was already gone, Tony's son.
Yeah, he was old.
He was older,
Yeah.
so he didn't coach him. But it'll be times on the field, both good and bad, when you get in your son's ass or when you congratulate him, that it pulled at my heartstrings.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I envied that on both, you know what I'm saying, on both sides, from the good to the bad. Like, man, I can't wait for that or whatever. So what do
It's
y'all
a wonderful
think?
thing if you can control it. If it's toxic, don't do it. Like if you can't turn that off, if you can't turn the coach off and be dad, don't do it.
Yeah, I have a moment where I had to apologize to my son. I realized I fucked up, and this wasn't really even me coaching. This was his, I believe, his second year born, and we were going out to this park out in I can't somewhere out near Bolingbrook, Naperville, something like that. And he was just letting kids get in front of him. You know what I'm saying? And he, you know what I'm saying?
Also with the tryouts.
It wasn't even tryouts.
Okay.
It was his regular practice,
Alright.
but he wasn't getting his
Right.
reps. Like I wanted him to get in. But I think he was like 11. You know what I'm saying? He's probably like 12, 13 or something. You know what I'm saying? And I got on the field, and
I paid for this damn. You know how much it costs?
I was
Yeah.
letting his ass out. I was like, man, what the fuck is you doing? People looking at me like, and he walked out, and I walked into the car, and I had to realize, I said, fuck. One, I'm embarrassing.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? In front of all these kids, coaches and shit, you know what I'm saying? And I gotta understand my son's personality too. You know what I'm saying? Even though he's a competitor, he's more of a laid back type of person. So that kind of made me kind of pull back from that moment on. Kind of made me pull back and be like, you know what? I gotta understand my son. Learn when to push him when necessary, but when to kind of step back. You know what I'm saying? Understand who he is as a person too, and just try to balance that out. You know what I'm saying? So I wouldn't change being there at the having a front seat from day one, from when he played. I wouldn't change that. But as like what Dave said, I made a lot of mistakes along the way. And if you decide to do the same thing,
There's gonna be mistakes.
you're gonna make mistakes too. Even though we talking to you about it, you're gonna make mistakes
It's
too.
hard.
You know what I'm
It's
saying?
hard.
Yeah, because you a dad, but you also competitive. You also want to see him succeed, and you see the potential in him that as young as he is, he don't know it. You know what I'm saying? He don't know the potential he had, but you can see it. And you like, man, what the fuck? You know what
Well,
I'm
I
saying?
think so. That you actually hit a head. That's a perfect way to say it. Is that you see that you had it. Like you started watching, you're like, give me more, and you're trying to extract things that, for his age or his level or his mindset, he just doesn't have right now. He doesn't have that. He doesn't know how to get that extra at that moment.
Right.
You do have to learn how to get that extra most of the time. You know what I'm saying? And you're trying as a dad, and I know a lot of people, we're trying to live through your son. It's like you're not trying to live through your son. You're just trying to pull it out of him so he can live it.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
And you have to learn to kind of
That's perfect.
step back.
Hey, say that shit again, Dave.
You have to,
You're not trying to live through him, but you're trying to do what?
oh, you have to try to pull it out of him so he can live it.
I like
You're
that.
trying to pull it out of him so he can live it.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And sometimes you still gotta just let them do nothing.